Well, folks, the Cybertruck actually changes everything. I'm going to give you my new price target for Tesla today, and I guarantee you it's going to blow your mind.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and unfortunately, an unmerry Christmas for Tesla Cybertruck. As you see here, it struggled with the Christmas tree challenge and was bailed out by a Ford truck. And I'd like to hear your thoughts. For those of you who are truck owners, would your vehicle struggle with hauling a Christmas tree and also struggle in the snow? We looked at a video before on Tesla Cybertruck where it struggled going uphill, and this is another real-world example of how these things are used. This is something I've told you guys about many times. When the initial reviews that were Tesla approved came out, none of them showed off-road. So the big question is going to be when we get more independent views, third party, when people actually get hands on the Cybertruck, right? How does it do off-road? The things that we've seen on social media, not so great, but let's wait to see more. If you get dozens and lots of owners reporting these kind of things, then we'll kind of know the truth. But this is just sort of the evidence that we have now. So again, if you're a truck owner, please comment on this and like to hear your thoughts. Would your vehicle struggle with this the same way that Cybertruck did? We also have more really breaking news and important news from Tesla. I'll read the headlines, guys. Tesla recalls 2 million cars to fix autopilot safety flaws. And this is in the USA. You can see here, Tesla recalls millions of vehicles amid probe into autopilot crashes. We'll read the details together here. Tesla is recalling more than 2 million vehicles over concern over its autopilot system can be misused by drivers, amid a 2-year probe by U.S. auto safety regulators into crashes involving the driver assistant technology. The safety recalls some Tesla models, so this is the ones, the 3, the S, the X, the Y, sold between 2012 and 2023. So that is a wide range of vehicles that they're calling, and this is over 10 years worth of cars. That's why it's so many. Here's the basic gist of it, is that the government is looking into, well, one, does the autopilot / FSD work at all, right? So that would be the first thing. The other thing that they've been looking into is Tesla's, this is the company, is their language misleading on how good their autopilot / FSD is? Because the basic idea is that if they're misleading in their language, then it gives customers sort of the how can you say, assurance or confidence that they can just let the robot drive by itself, hence leading to crashes. The government looked at this is 956 crashes, and then said, hey, we gotta fix things. So we'll see what happens with that. I laugh on this stuff because for me personally, I don't get emotional with these kind of things. It's just a car. And the thing is, this is just real, guys. There's a lot of fanboys and fangirls who get really emotional on this stuff, which is also understandable too, because people have money, invested in these things. Either they bought said thing or they bought said stock. The other thing too, which I want to mention and want to go over this very clearly, why people get so emotional. A lot of it has to do with the pumpers, and I want to go over today. One of the pumpers, his name is Tom Nash, but that's not his real name. It's actually a fake name, which you may not know. He lied about his name, he lies about his credentials, and he lies about his experience. And moreover, he misleads in videos. So let me show you this. And here's a question for you. Can you spot the pumping? So let's take a watch.
So if you're talking 60 to 80 or 50 to 70, right? And on top of it, you have 80 to 100, definitely more expensive. The Cybertruck is more expensive. There's no doubt. But you have no gasoline costs, despite the higher upfront costs, right? No maintenance costs. There's no oil changes. There's no engine. There's very little maintenance to deal with. Now, you do pay 20% higher upfront, but you save so much money on gasoline and maintenance. And you're getting better performance. 2.6 seconds, 350 miles range.
So can you spot the pumping in the video? And it's funny because I showed my wife it and she picked up on it right away. So basically he comes out and says, hey guys, Tesla Cybertruck, yes, it costs a little bit more, 20% more, but it's so awesome because there's just no maintenance and no gasoline. So you're going to save so much money. And I laugh because, like I said, my wife's fine right away, but did you spot it? And the basic, one, which I think is really funny when you tell guys, hey guys, this car is great because there's no gasoline. So you're kind of implying that you're not going to spend any money on energy. But you guys know the truth of this stuff, right? Even though, yes, you're correct, Tom, There's no gasoline. You don't have to buy gasoline for it, but you have to buy electricity for the dang thing. So just the way that he talks about it is really misleading. The other thing is too, when you talk about like, hey guys, there's zero maintenance. There's never going to be a problem. It's like, okay, so I guess I never need tires on this thing, right? I guess not, because it's just so awesome, right? Or, hey, I never need the change of windshield wiper because I guess it's just so awesome. Or I'm never going to have any malfunctions whatsoever because I guess, hey, it's just so awesome. Just the way that they talk about it, they make it sound like it's so perfect. Moreover, parts for the Tesla are really expensive, right? And also, too, you have insurance costs, which are more on Teslas than other cars. Now, do I say Teslas are absolutely awful cars? No, I never say that. I think they're fun to drive. I say that so many times. But I don't give you like these misleading statements on that you're going to make, bazillion dollars in your stocks and you go 10,000%. That's basically what the pumpers do. So they really overplay stuff and pump stuff. Like, and I'll repeat again, I think the Teslas are fun cars to drive, but I also know there are other cars on the road. And moreover, this is something that I've looked at for myself. When you compare the cost of like a Tesla to other vehicles, it comes out a little more when you include all of the things. Now, does that mean that it's a terrible car? No, I repeat over and over again. It's not like an awful, worst car in the whole world. It's just not. But I don't paint it to be like the greatest, God's gift to the earth as being Tesla. And just the way the pumpers talk is very, very misleading. Let me give you another example. So this is talking about the price of the stock.
Looking at the pricing of Tesla and then my new price target, look, glance at NVIDIA for a second, right? They're 25 price to sales, 60 PE. And they're, I think what you would say is an industry leader, right? So if you look at Tesla as another industry leader, we have 8 price to sales. So 3.5 times cheaper than NVIDIA if you look at price to sales. But even at PE, Tesla's at 70 PE versus NVIDIA 60 PE. So Tesla isn't trading at exuberant amounts. They're trading like an industry leader, like they should.
So again, fake name Tom Nash is misleading again. And I ask you this question, and please write in the comments, how is he misleading in this video? The reason why I ask is because if you are a seasoned investor or know a little bit about the stock market, you will pick up on it right away. If you are new to the market and you're a young kid or a teenager, and this is very real, you won't pick up on it. And I'll try to explain it to you the best I can. So basically, the question I'll pose to you is, why does Tom, out of all the stocks in the entire market, compare Tesla to NVIDIA? Why would he do that? I'll tell you. So Tom will say, hey, because NVIDIA is an industry leader and because Tesla's an industry leader, that's what he'll say. But the basic gist of it is that Tesla and NVIDIA are both in a bubble. So if you're going to compare stocks, why are you comparing one bubble to another bubble? Moreover, think of it this way, guys. If Tom is making the case that, hey, I compare industry leaders to industry leaders, and we're talking about PE ratios here, why not compare it to Apple? So Tesla at the moment has like a PE of 75. Apple's sitting at a PE of 32. So by this measure, Tesla is grossly overvalued, right? Because again, a higher PE ratio, not so great. The idea is that is the price of the stock compared to how much a company earns. So, but to be fair, these are different industries, right? Apple and Tesla are not the same industry. Here's another example. Car industry, right? Ford PE is 7.24 as of today. Tesla as of today is trading like at a 75 PE. So that means if you're going to compare similar car companies, Tesla would be 10 times more expensive than Ford. Now, if you guys understand, like, okay, Chris, what do you mean? Tesla's the industry leader, etc. So here's just a really simple and basic way to think about PEs. Just really, really basic and really simple. If your PE on something like Tesla is say 75, that means you would expect your growth, your earnings growth, that's how much money you earn, how much your income is, right? You would expect that to be growing greater than your PE. So you want like 80% growth next year, 100% growth, and we're talking about earnings. Now, why do I emphasize that? I show this many times on the channel, but I completely understand if you're new to the market, none of this makes sense, but I want to just try to put it out there to at least attempt to teach you guys how this stuff works. Now, here's a simple question for you. Do you understand the difference between revenue and income? And I'll repeat, do you understand the difference between revenue and income? The pumpers, they only talk about revenue, okay? So if you look at this chart here, this is over on Google Finance. You can find it. It's all public, not just making random stuff up. The revenue in the past year has gone up 8%, right? And again, I said, hey, if Tesla is at a 75 PE, you want 80% growth, right? Something like that. You want above the PE, but here 8%, so not so great. Net income down 43%. So, by this very, very simple measure, it would appear that Tesla is grossly overvalued. But I get it. I totally get it. If you're a pumper, you want to keep pumping this stuff over and over again. And moreover, from Tom's point of view, you want to sell your stock picking software. This is what this is all about. And I also get it too, guys, is that if you bought Tesla at the peak, you guys can see this here. This was back in November 5th, 2021. You are down 42% on your money. So you continue to watch these pumper channels because you want to know when you're getting your money back. Now, a lot of these people who are down 42% aren't going to write this stuff in comments because frankly, this is just real. You lost money, you made a bad choice, you listened to pumpers, and it's embarrassing. I totally get it. But I just want you to understand sort of what's going on and what's happening. Essentially, for people who are new to the market, you may not know this kind of thing. I'm pushing 50, so I've lived through this stuff before, and I want to point this out to you. This was Intel. This was a hot company during the dot-com bubble, and it's not like Intel was a horrible company, right? In fact, it was all the rage on Wall Street, right? Because we all knew computers and chips were the future. It wasn't hard to see. However, it doesn't necessarily mean you want to pay any price for the stock, right? If you take a look at the chart though, in the 2000, you can see that you would actually, if you bought the top, you would actually still be underwater today, right? This is just a real thing. The moreover, which I want to talk with you about as well, is that Elon Musk is 52. And I just want to ask you guys, how many companies can this guy possibly run? And how much longer do you think he's going to do this? Because a lot of this sort of game is all about pumping up Elon, and this is just real. It makes sense. Young kids are like, hey guys, I want to follow rich people, and I want to do exactly what rich people do because they're rich, and I want to be rich like them. And there's this kind of worship of money that is happening. It's not just the USA, it's all around the world, so people worship Elon Musk. And I'll just ask you this question. If you worship Elon Musk, do you also worship Adam Neumann, right? That was the WeWork CEO. If you worship Elon Musk, do you also worship Elizabeth Holmes? That was the Theranos CEO. And if you worship Elon Musk, do you also worship SBF? And the truth of the matter is, if you flip on YouTube, it's filled with like famous quotes of all of these kind of people because that's how this game is played. And I warn you to be very, very cautious of these things. And I tell you guys all the time, and I know it's not fun. I know it's not popular. I get it more than you know. I ran in these circles. I know how the sausage is made, and I know what's behind closed doors. I know that all of these people are human beings, right? I know they have faults. I know they fart. I know they do this kind of stuff. And the reason why I mention that is because for many kids out there, they think these people are superhuman, and you kind of know how this game ends up. And I want to leave you with this quote and see if you can understand what it means. Here's the quote from Mark Twain. "It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled." So with that, I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll catch you all in the next video.
I have to decide if I want to do more, but know that if I'm doing more, it's just a cash grab. Because I got 10 days to make these videos. But hey, I'm going to be transparent about it. Hey, it's a lot of money. It's like, a couple $1,000 a video. And for 30 seconds, read, whatever.